10 times, George Michael just didn't give a crap. There were countless things to admire about the late, great George Michael. His effortlessly soulful vocals, dry sense of humor, career longevity, private acts of kindness, his general superstar quality. The list goes on. But one of his most underappreciated qualities was his refreshing honesty. Indeed, George became renowned for doing and saying exactly what he wanted, a single-minded approach that proved to be both beneficial and detrimental to his career over the years. It was also one that ensured he remained far more entertaining and unpredictable than his media-trained successors. A year on from his shocking, untimely death, here's a look at 10 times one of the UK's greatest ever pop stars refused to give a F. The outside video, whereas most celebrities would offer a faux sheepish, tearful apology in a televised interview for engaging in a lewd act that famously spawned the Sun headline "Zip Me Up Before You Go Go," George Michael decided to wholeheartedly embrace it. In one of pop's most brazen acts of defiance, the star subsequently filmed a video for 1998's single "Outside," in which he dressed as an lapped officer, turned a restroom into a colorful nightclub complete with sparkling disco ball urinals, and showed various amorous couples, including 2 male cops, getting it on in public. It was a move that perhaps killed his career in America for good, but on this side of the pond, it cemented his status as a national treasure. The Olympics closing ceremony performance from the Spice Girls' iconic medley on top of 5 London taxis to Russell Brand's eccentric tribute to the Beatles. The 2012 Olympics closing ceremony was supposed to be a showcase for all-time great British pop music. But instead, George Michael decided that he couldn't pass on the opportunity to perform a brand new single that not even his most ardent fans could hum a note of in front of hundreds of millions of people worldwide. Admittedly, his rendition of the fairly unremarkable White Light went down like a lead balloon on the night, but you have to admire his chutzpah all the same. The Paul Weller insult. Not exactly renowned for his sunny disposition, Paul Weller couldn't even raise a smile on the day that Band Aid assembled to record what would become the biggest-selling single of all time. But the Modfather made a big mistake by having a go at George Michael in the studio in front of the who's who of mid-80s pop. He was subsequently, and not unfairly, told, "Don't be a Dubliner all your life, have a day off." His other celebrity jibes, and Paul Weller wasn't the only celebrity to bear the brunt of Michael's sharp tongue over the years. Jeremy Clarkson was once described as a pig-ugly homophobe by the star on Twitter after the boorish presenter made an unflattering remark about the singer on Top Gear. He also once lambasted Sir Elton John for interfering in his life. "He will not be happy until I bang on his door in the middle of the night saying, 'Please, please, help me, Elton. Take me to rehab.' It's not going to happen." Refusing to promote his second album, Michael's solo debut, Faith, had spawned 4 consecutive US No. 1s and won the Album of the Year Grammy. So record company Sony were understandably hoping for more of the same with album number 2. An exhausted and depressed George threw a spanner in the works when he announced he didn't want to undertake any promotional duties for the record, including any video appearances. In the end, George's sudden media shyness helped produce one of the most iconic music promos of all time, the supermodel starring Freedom, while Listen Without Prejudice Volume 1 still reached the top 2 on both sides of the Atlantic. More music. His Sony lawsuit. But Michael was still disappointed that the record only shifted less than half of its predecessor, and subsequently sued Sony for both failing to promote it, and for stifling his creativity in an act many deemed career suicide. Michael claimed the 8-album deal he signed back in 1988 wasn't fair under European Union law, but the judge at London's High Court disagreed and ruled in favour of the record label. Michael later admitted he was disappointed at how none of his high-profile friends and peers had supported his case, but it's just another example of how he stuck to his principles, whatever the cost. Jesus to a child. So how exactly would George Michael return to the pop world ahead of his first studio effort in 6 years, and the first since the whole Sony debacle? With a supremely catchy statement of defiance like Freedom? A classic pop anthem like Faith? Perhaps an epic smoochy ballad like Careless Whisper? Nope. Michael came back in 1996 with an incredibly mournful 6-minute-long bossa nova torch song dedicated to the Brazilian boyfriend, Anselmo Felipe, who had died from an AIDS-related brain hemorrhage 3 years previously. Jesus to a Child remains one of the most solemn number ones in chart history, but it's also one of Michael's most beautifully haunting songs too. Shoot the Dog. After the sublime and squelchy Alayo-inspired R&B of Freak, the slightly anemic Human League sampling synth-pop of follow-up Shoot the Dog was a bit of a come-down. But while it's undoubtedly one of Michael's weakest-sounding singles, it's also one of his most lyrically interesting. A protest song about the involvement of Tony Blair and George W. Bush's special relationship and their involvement in the Iraq War. The 2002 single was also accompanied by a satirical cartoon video which dressed the pair as the Village People, depicts the former as the latter's poodle and sees them engage in a threesome with Cheery Blair. Arriving just a few years after the cream of the British music industry had rubbed shoulders with the Prime Minister at Downing Street, Shoot the Dog proved that Michael wasn't remotely interested in cozying up to the establishment. His cruising admission, just like his matter-of-fact response to his LA arrest, Michael made no apologies when the tabloids revealed his fondness for cottaging on Hampstead Heath. Speaking to The Guardian, the star said, "It's a much nicer place to get some quick and honest sex than standing in a bar, head off your tits, high on ecstasy, shouting at somebody and hoping they want the same thing as you do in bed." He would also reference his love of cruising during an inspired cameo in the 2007 Christmas special of Extras, proving that few could do self-mockery better. The pink top, yellow gloves combo from his Princess Diana-esque bouffant to the iconic Choose Life t-shirts to the leather jacket, jeans and crucifix earring combo, George Michael made several bold fashion statements over the years. But the neon pink sweater and bright yellow fingerless gloves look he sported in the video for Wake Me Up Before You Go is perhaps the finest example of Michael's daring anything goes fashion sense.